All right, so we are doing another Levee Sessions. Blake Cook, Tracy Good, and I have one. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm fangirling a little bit. Jodi Mann is in the house.
Jodi Tatum Mann, the 14th.
Good gracious. How are you doing?
Slow this morning. Is it still morning?
Who schedules a podcast in the morning? Blake Cook does.
Well, it's technically not morning anymore, and
Well, it looks like morning.
it's the season, so little hot toddy.
Merry season.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I hate it when people swallow on podcasts.
There's so much noise.
Yeah,
just
too
life
much
noise.
So, Jodi, thanks for coming today. You are one of my heroes. Tell me, like, we've known each other for like 43 years.
Wait, I'm only 41.
Yeah, right.
So 43
I know.
years.
I thought you were 31.
Yeah.
Take me back.
Okay.
Take me back to Paradise City where we met. Because, like, for people that don't know, I'm married to Jodi's sister, Katie. Isn't that her name?
Catherine.
Do you remember? Do
Jane.
you remember me from like back then?
Oh my God, I totally remember you. Okay, so you weren't dating Katie though. You were just like neighborhood.
Little hood rat.
You would ride your bike over, yeah?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You lived
yeah.
on Lake Doncaster?
Yeah, that's a trek. When you're in
Yeah.
love, you'll do whatever you got to do.
I remember I'd like sing for y'all. You played guitar. Katie always had a crush. I think y'all,
Yeah, it was a date thing. Whatever you do in 7th grade.
y'all were going together.
Right. Yeah.
I think my dad used to say, "Where are you going?"
Where are you going?
You were just older to where like we couldn't like hang out with y'all. And be
You're always
cool.
too cool for school when you're that age.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm a year older than you.
So like you've always been a singer. Like I remember you singing back then, and you kind of had some job singing. Remind me what that is. Like you had some job singing somewhere, whatever.
I had an out from college. I was like, yes, I will take it. I volunteered.
It's like the Army, but for music.
No, I auditioned for Paramount. It was called the Viacom Company. And so I was an entertainer for them in a theme park called Paramount Carowinds. 6 shows a day, 6 days a week.
What is that, like Disney World or something?
Kind of, but it was like Paramount themed.
What city? What city's in it?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right.
On the line of Rock Hill, South Carolina, and Charlotte, North Carolina.
So you you went to the audition and got it.
I got it. My first
Wow.
audition ever. I haven't made one since.
Started at the top.
But hey.
What do you remember? What you sang? Do you remember what you sang?
Yes. I sang, "You Gotta Live a Little." What's that Bedler song?
Dun,
Love
dun.
a little and even get the blues.
I think
a
that's
little.
David Bowie, right?
Story of love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Glory of Love. That's
Glory
the
of love.
glory of
Yeah.
Wow.
that. And you know, Celine Dion. I was a Celine Dion chick those days.
Who wasn't? Who
know.
wasn't? All right, so you've always wanted to sing. Go back further. You're a kid, like you see yourself singing. You're singing everywhere. You're in plays or something at church.
And mainly, really, just singing, standing on the couch, you know, to be taller than you were, singing in a brush. Whitney Houston was my vocal coach at the time.
Great coach.
Yes. She
Life
was,
coach.
she was awesome. You know, you'd have to like rewind and get that note. And I just always loved it. I've always loved it. So I guess I've always studied it.
So what's cool to me is like you went from, I guess, this music deal, and you went into opening your own business, and it seems to have worked out pretty well. How did you make that transition?
Well, so when I moved back here, I started singing in a bar. And so my dad was like, okay, you got to go to college. And I was like,
Is Charlie B still open?
It was called Long Branch and a country bar. But I was, 20. So let's see. I moved back here. Darton was not for me. All we did was party and hang out. So I was like, I'm ready to make money. You know what I can do? I could start doing hair because we had all these people backstage that would teach us hair and makeup and stuff. And I can do that. I can move to New York and work backstage. And I'll work my way into the entertainment industry. That's what I wanted to do.
You wouldn't wait tables, you'd cut hair.
Yes,
That's
and be
awesome.
backstage.
Good plan.
And I was
Yeah,
going to
that's
work for Paramount. I had it figured
Yeah.
out. But God had other plans, but he planted that seed of backstage in my mind. So where does everybody want to go? Backstage. So I opened my salon after a couple years doing hair. But so now I own Backstage.
So now we know the origin of the name. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. Like, I think your story is pretty awesome because, and nobody really talks. Everybody knows you. Everybody loves Jodi. She's a great singer. Blah blah blah. But you do so much. So like, you're a singer songwriter. You have a successful business. You're an awesome mom. You're an entrepreneur. Now you have this art thing going on. How do you do all of this? Like, how do you fit all this stuff in? And it seems like you maintain your composure really well and you enjoy it. I'm sure you have bad days, but how do you get all this stuff done?
You just do it. You just have to show up. That's most of it. That's 90% of it is doing it. Just showing up. Even if you are having a bad day, then write a sad song or a lazy song or throw paint. And then what's cool is that other people can feel it. I always say you can smell fear. You can smell it in a song, smell it in a painting or whatever. You just got to go for it. And you know what? If you're going into it to please other people, then don't do it. But if you're going into it and it heals you, chances are it's going to heal somebody else, whether it be a painting or a song or their hair. Like I have bad days. I walk into Backstage. I've had a lot of, pardon my French, happen to me. But you just have to decide, wake up every morning, it's a choice, and you decide today I'm going to be successful in everything I do. And I'm just going to go with it. I guess that's what I do. You have to smile at yourself in the mirror. What's the look you give yourself in the
He does.
when you look in the mirror? I mean, you can kissy face, whatever you want to do. But
Felt cute today. May delete later.
I know when I wake up, I am ugly. So I look at myself and I'm like, oh, you have to make a decision every day.
So you're going through your work day or your work week, and you're like, it has been 4 days or how many ever since I've written a song, painted a piece or something. What's that breaking point for you? It's like, all right, I'm taking Saturday and Sunday and I'm going to do this. Does that ever cross your mind? Like, I've got to start creating?
All the time. Like, you just spoke my mind.
Awesome.
It's if I'm not doing it, I'm not happy. I mean, ask Blake. He's probably like, I wish you quit texting me about that. I'll help her do a song.
That's
God.
awesome.
No, but I am having a hard time, but it's my own fault. I want to write more, but just wanting is not enough.
Sure.
You have to show up and do it.
Yeah.
But I do think there's so many people here that also want to do it, but somebody's got to start it. And I'm fine with being the starter. But, it's nice to have some people believe in you, right?
That's right.
Help you along the way.
Well, we've got some art of yours on the wall at the office and at our home. And we listen to the Spotify stuff. So, I mean, I'm telling you, you are blessing other people
that's so
through whatever the
sweet.
anger or the happiness. I think it's the fun part of being an artist.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I think you're further down the road too than you think, right? I think you see yourself always probably, casting this vision of yourself or whatever, but in some ways I think you're there, right? You're kind of living the life that so many people want to live because you're showing up every day. And I think it's cool, and your work shows.
I don't know. I like making everything work. I mean, that's just what I do. That's all I know. And if you can find a way to make money with things you love and you've already made it work, I mean, it all just works.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Tell me real quick about the art stuff. I mean, have you been painting for a long time and we just didn't know it, or is that something that's fairly new? And what's your process there?
Well, I'm really disorganized, and I paint in the kitchen. I paint everywhere. I can't be in a little room. Like, I'll go outside and paint. Painting, I have major ADD, I guess it is. I know it's an excuse, but I try to use it as not a misfortune, but use it to my best ability. So I'm not a TV watcher. I don't sit down and I've always been a doodler. Even in school, I have no idea what they were saying, which is awful. I wish I could go back and listen, medicated. But I was always a doodler, and I guess it's just where my mind goes. So when I'm at home, if I'm not decorating or moving, I move stuff around all the time. Right now, I'm painting in the kitchen.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea too of just like move. Just move. If otherwise you just take a nap forever and nothing really happens. So
Yeah.
you're
for
creating stuff all the time. What's your process? Like, do you know what you're going to paint when you sit down to paint something?
No, I don't. I really don't, unless it's a commission. But the people that commission me to do artwork have to know that when it comes, it comes.
Right.
Like,
That's cool.
I mean, I do try to do like special requests and things like. I'll put it. I have to make notes, of course, my disorganized self. They want blue or they want this or that, and I can incorporate that into their painting, but it has to feel good.
On your music side, when you start writing, do you always write for Jodi's voice, or do you hear somebody's voice and say, this idea that I had, I think would be perfect for this singer or whatever? Is that part of what is Jodi Mann?
Interesting that you asked for my voice. Really, my voice is the only voice I hear inside my head when I'm writing. I haven't gotten to the point, and that is one of my 10-year goals. By the time I'm 51, I would love to write for other people, or just other people want to sing that would be so cool. But I don't know. I guess I'm more of a lyricist, and I find a melody in my head, and it helps me with my rhyme scheme. And, it sounds super corny sometimes until I have a musician sit down and turns it into a song. So I don't know. It's not necessarily writing for like myself as a performer.
Yeah.
But it is really cool to get to perform it.
How many songs do you think you've written?
Oh gosh. Complete songs, probably 30.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I bet
Man.
you've written more than that. You got more than that on
Spotify.
record.
Or whatever, yeah.
I know. I told you I was disorganized.
Yeah. I bet you've written
I have
100.
so many fragments of so many journals, of so many thoughts, so many rhyme schemes, but they're not complete. And that's why I feel like I need to make a plan, a goal of, do I have to move to Nashville? No. I think Albany could be Nashville. I think we could network enough to get people here to write. And we have some really talented people here. It's just everybody works. And I would love for that to be something for Albany to get to, for me, for my convenience. But I would love to be able to complete a lot of my songs.
Right. I like how Dallas Davidson approached it, at least when he started, which is what I think was write a song a day. And you just don't go to sleep until it gets done. Yeah. And I'm sure you wake up and sometimes it's just it's crap, and then sometimes you wake up and you got a hit. And when you're actually successful in the music business, it's like any other art. You're not the one that really determines if it's successful or not. Somebody else is, or a group of people are, or your audience is.
Right.
So when you sit down to write, are you thinking about yourself? Are you thinking about your circumstances? Are you writing for other people, like through their eyes? Or are you writing everything through your perspective?
I like the idea of being a storyteller. I almost like writing a book. So lots of times it's just a feeling that you have that'll, like today I'm sad. Okay, now let me think about why I'm sad. And I think people that stay sad forever don't really focus that energy. Like, why am I sad? Okay, I'm sad because I just went through a breakup. 4 years. Okay, I'm really sad. But why am I sad? Even if it was my choice to break up. So it's like, I'm going to start writing about it. So really, I'm not thinking about someone, like writing for someone. It's more of, I guess, a healing thing for me. And then once it's out, it's out. And then when you start to sing it, it takes on a whole nother life. So all of a sudden, I was writing about the breakup, but then I got into talking about Miss Sarah's story of her husband dying. And so I remember the things she would tell me. So really, I am hearing other voices because I'm crazy.
That's great, though.
But it all comes into one, and that's what's so cool about art. Any form of it, any type of creativity, what you do, what I do, Tracy, you, all these talented people here, it's what someone else makes it. I mean, what is Yellow Bed Letter, Pearl Jam, what is that song about? To you.
Who even knows the words to that song?
Exactly.
Pearl Jam's a new artist, right?
Right. But it's more of a feeling, and it means something to you, and it means something different to me, and I don't know. Same with paintings. I ask people all the time, they're like, oh, I see a dog. I'm like, really?
I wasn't thinking that.
That's
You're good.
awesome. Do you love dogs? You should totally buy that painting.
Tell me about the technical side. Like, are you doing this on a computer? Do you get like a notepad? Is the process to write a song always the same? You hear something, you just jot it down. Tell me what it looks like exactly.
Like an actual visual of it, me writing, really paper, anything I have. I dig in a drawer if it's a napkin. If it's a good thought, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta write that down. But I'll tell you, I mean, 80% of the time I don't write it down. Even, I'll be listening to stuff while I'm painting and my brain goes there and I don't write it down. The next day I'm like, what was that?
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask you that question. You hear a hook in the middle of the night, right? You wake up.
Yes.
I didn't write it down and crap, it's gone forever.
Yeah. So, yeah.
It's always paper for you?
Paper.
Have you ever, well, I'm telling you, I'm not a pro like you, but if I hear it, I go sing it into my phone.
Right. And I have.
Maybe that'll jar me later.
Yeah.
That's
I have
for the disorganized artist.
No, I have. Like, there's so much stuff in my voice memos that, again, it's disorganized. And that's where I need help.
Well, maybe, that helps. Is
Oh, yeah.
to be a little disorganized sometimes.
right.
Maybe. I remember writing with Jared, and he always had the computer and was like, this is what we need to do. And I was like, I gotta bring my journals. I got to bring my journals. I have an idea for a sound. He would play it on the guitar, or John would play it on the piano, and I'd say, okay, yes, that fits with All Cried Out. I have this story about I was feeling overweight, really overweight one day. Somebody said something to me. It broke my heart, which is what I started writing that song about. It sounds like a breakup song. I was like, I'm all cried out about this. I'm not crying about it anymore.
Everybody loves that song.
That's a good song.
It's a given.
So, a few years ago, you lost your husband.
Yes.
A good friend of all of us, and I'm curious how did that impact your life at that time, and emotionally, what's the transition been like? You seem to have somehow grown from that experience. Tell me about that transition.
Again, you have a choice whether to grow or not to. And in a positive way is really our only choice. Because if you do the other, you're just going to die. Everything is going to die. And so he left behind a beautiful son for me. So I see him every day in Ashton, which is really cool and weird, but cool. Yeah. But I don't know. I lost him a lot along the way because he fought, opiates and all that jazz that he thought he needed. And I don't know. So I had I can look back now and see how broken it was. But then I had the same attitude, like, we're going to go, we're going to do, this is how we're going to function.
Right.
And when you lose them, death is a part of life. I know that sounds like morbid, but it is. And I feel like sometimes with him being gone, I see him more than I did when he was alive. Is that weird?
No, that makes sense.
You see him in everything. And you have to look for it. You have to look for God in everything. You have to look for positivity in everything. That sounds, I'm probably getting on your nerves with that.
No, it's good.
But you have to, every now and then I'm like, that was his song. Oh my God. He used to tap his foot with that daggone flip-flop. All that, and you have to, it's not don't let it take you there. You have to decide. I heard somebody say one time that when you go through something really big like that, I had to go to Al-Anon, some counseling, but one of the teachers said, when something bad is happening around you, like with an addict or whatever, it's like, think of it as a hot air balloon that's going up in the air and it's going super slow, so slow that you don't even realize how high it's getting. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden it pops in your world, which mine did, spun out of control. And then throughout life, little fragments of that hot air balloon are just going to float your way. And you're going to have to decide if you're going to let that little fragment ruin your day or change it in a positive way. So that's kind of been my motto, because things do hit you. Grief hits you like, I'll just cry on the way home listening to a song and go, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? I'm fine. I'm over this. I'm good. Chill out. But it hits you when you least expect it.
Yeah, it's so easy for a lot of, especially artistic people, to like go into that depression, you know. And in some ways, going back to Ronald, it's like, I think that's kind of where he was. You know, he was a very artistic person. I don't think he had the outlets that he wanted, but I think he didn't know how to handle, you know, the voices that were in his head.
Yeah.
And so you just turn to other things, and that's kind of where it went. And Jodi's always kind of done the opposite. Yeah. You know, everything I think about Jodi's always positive. Actually, to a fault. Like, the only thing I don't like about Jodi is every Thanksgiving, we're all sitting around, right? And it's like, all right, starting with Blake, say one nice thing about everybody in the room.
Come on, Jodi.
Like, oh my God.
One thing you love, just one thing you love.
You like about somebody in the room. I'm like, oh my God.
And if you don't know where to start with me. Tell me what you love about.
So me and her dad are like, I like the turkey.
Oh, God.
Blake's like, I got to go to the bathroom.
So because of that positivity and what you have been through, God's brought you through lows and highs. Have you found that people are reaching out to you, or they feel like, man, Jodi has been there, I can be, you know, helped by something Jodi can say?
When you have a story, you are believable. You know, you are believable. Like, I've always been positive, but then when I got the shit knocked out of me, and you stand back up and take a deep breath and you keep going, people are like, oh, whoa. Yeah, so like even singing at church, as an imperfect person, and, you know, somebody that has just had their heart totally stomped on by the devil. I believe it was the devil. But it, I feel like they believe me when I sing Amazing Grace now. It's not just like, you know, not that I didn't mean it before, but it's like now there's just it gives you strength.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I think that's it. Just being genuine.
Yeah.
And being honest, and I think that's how people think of you. How do you want? You die.
Yeah.
Death is a part of life. You're going to at some point.
We're all going the same.
How do you want to be remembered?
What's your legacy?
Yeah.
I know that's heavy, but it's real.
I don't know. I want to be a giver. I just think, and that's kind of broad because it's anything. People remember how you made them feel. That's all. Like when someone passes away, you go, oh man, I remember that one time I was with him and he did this or that. You know, it's how they make you feel. If you walk around as, you know, with a horrible attitude about everything, people are going to remember that. Like, I don't know, you want to find the beauty in everything. And I really do look for that in everything. I really do try to. Now, every time I say bless her heart, sometimes maybe I can't find the beauty in it.
It's the nicest thing you can say.
Oh, bless your heart. Oh, God. But no, I guess a giver, a lover of all things. Like and I want to be a part of it. Like I want to be a part of too much of everything. But I don't know, a giver. I feel like I have a lot to give, like you guys do. Right?
What do you think the let's say you got 40 years left.
Okay.
40, not 4.
40.
Let's say 50.
Okay.
I think you got a good 50, 55 left.
Positive people.
What does it look like? What's your future? And no one knows what's up. I mean, it's always weird when people even set 5, 10-year goals. No one knows what's going to happen. But how do you see it playing out?
Well, so I want to be married. I love to be married.
I didn't know this.
I want to be married to the love of my life.
Hey, fellas, chill. Y'all chill a little bit.
Easy killer.
I want to be in the music still. I want to be active, not as, even if I'm in a wheelchair. I want to, God forbid, wheelchair, but I want to be in the music. I want a man that sings to me or wants to play the guitar. Like I want to be surrounded by it, and I'm really thankful right now that I have Ashton playing the guitar all the time, keeping the music alive. But yeah, I don't know. I still just want to be in the music.
That's awesome.
Well, I think that you are the reflection of success in every way. I think that you probably, you want to grow and you see yourself doing other things or whatever, but I think people look up to you every day in work, as a mom, as, a writer, as an artist, a musician.
Thank you.
And I'm grateful, and I know everyone around you is as well. So thanks for coming on today.
Oh my gosh, I feel so special. I can't believe you even care what I'm saying.
We had a cancellation.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Cheers.
Thank
Appreciate
you, guys.
I won't tell you what's in this cup.
What is? Is it Jack and Diane?
Apple juice.
Thanks, Jodi.